rice, salt, and water. The onigiri is perhaps the simplest food imaginable. Yet, this modest triangle dominates the Japanese diet far more than sushi ever could. You'll find them everywhere. From high-tech convenience stores selling billions a year, to legendary artisan shops where masters craft them like precious jewels. But why? In a nation constantly looking to the future, why does a 2,000-year-old recipe still rule the present? By uncovering its deep history, you will discover the true brilliance of the onigiri. And at the end of this journey, I will introduce the specific rice bowls that the Japanese people love most. In AD 1st century, the oldest onigiri was born. Archaeologists in Ishikawa discovered a small, carbonized lump of rice. For the ancient Japanese, the triangular shape wasn't an accident. It mimicked the mountains where the god or spirits resided. By eating this shape, they believed they were consuming the power of the gods themselves. Japan, from 1185 to 1600. A turbulent era where the sword and the spear forged the course of history. Yet, in this blood-soaked age of civil war, victory was not determined by the quality of weaponry alone. In reality, the humble onigiri reigned supreme as the ultimate piece of military technology. What the samurai of that time carried at their waists were not the delicate triangular rice bowls we see today, but massive, rugged lumps of rice known as tonjiki, primarily made of brown rice packed tightly with raw force. These were more than just food. They were high-density, physical fuel designed to sustain warriors through days of grueling marches and brutal hand-to-hand combat. Furthermore, they faced an invisible adversary, Japan's relentless heat and humidity. In an environment where food could spoil in an instant, their survival strategy was to embed a highly salted umeboshi, pickled plum, at the core. The citric acid in the plum acted as a natural preservative, while the intense salt content immediately replenished the vital minerals lost by warriors drenched in the sweat of battle. The true brilliance of tonjiki lay in its overwhelming mobility. On a battlefield where night raids and ambushes were commonplace, this was a meal that could be consumed instantly anywhere, without the need to light a fire or create smoke that would betray one's position to the enemy. It was, in essence, a revolutionary high-calorie power bar. The world's oldest prototype of modern sports nutrition was, in fact, held in the palms of samurai as they charged across the battlefields over 400 years ago, the Edo period, spanning from 1603 to 1868. An unprecedented era of peace that sparked a brilliant cultural and culinary revolution. In this age of tranquility, the onigiri, once a rugged survival ration for battle-worn soldiers, underwent a magnificent transformation into a source of daily pleasure and the ultimate companion for travelers. The historic turning point arrived in the late 17th century, along the vibrant shores of Tokyo Bay. By adapting traditional papermaking techniques, artisans began cultivating and processing seaweed into thin, uniform sheets of nori. This innovation, famously known as asakusa nori, would change the fate of the rice bowl forever. Wrapping rice in nori was a stroke of genius. It functioned as a natural wrapper, preventing rice from sticking to the fingers. A revolutionary convenience for travelers on the highways and townsfolk enjoying long days at the theater. Beyond its utility, the briny aroma of the sea perfectly complemented the natural sweetness of the rice. It was here, in the creative heart of Edo, that the classic onigiri we know and love today was truly born. 1885. As steam engines first roared across Japan, onigiri found a new home, the ekiben, station bento. At Utsunomiya Station, the first traveler's meal was sold, a simple pair of rice bowls wrapped in bamboo skin. This marked the moment onigiri became the rhythm of modern Japanese travel. By the early 20th century, onigiri became a symbol of hope. In 1889, the very first school lunch in Japan consisted of onigiri and grilled fish for children in need. It wasn't just food. It was a nation's promise to nourish its future. In the lean years after World War II, a simple rice bowl was the ultimate comfort. This was the era of ofukuro no aji, the taste of mother's cooking. Without fancy ingredients, the heat from a mother's palm provided the warmth a recovering nation desperately needed. The late 1970s, onigiri was synonymous with the taste of a mother's home cooking, the highlight of school excursions and sports days. Typically wrapped in aluminum foil or plastic wrap, the seaweed would gradually absorb moisture over time, merging into a dark, softened layer with the rice. That soggy texture was simply the culinary common sense of the era. However, as a new wave of convenience stores swept across Japan, this tradition hit a major wall. Moist seaweed spoils easily, significantly shortening the product's shelf life. The challenge for engineers began. How can we deliver that home-cooked soul food safely and on a massive scale? In 1978, the bells of revolution finally rang. A food manufacturer patented a completely new type of film packaging. The idea was a Columbus's egg, a solution so simple yet brilliant. Keep the seaweed and the rice physically separated until the very second they are eaten. This was no ordinary plastic bag. It was a feat of micron-level engineering designed to regulate humidity, preserve freshness, and allow anyone, from children to the elderly, to wrap their meal perfectly with a single motion, all without ever touching the rice. With the satisfying snap of crisp seaweed, these new onigiri flew off the convenience store shelves. This high-tech breakthrough transformed a humble, homemade comfort food into the ultimate industrial masterpiece, fueling the stomachs of a 24-hour urban society. To taste this history, just step into any convenience store in Japan. Try the tuna mayo for a creamy start, or the grilled salmon for a classic flavor. Snap. The nori stays crisp until the very second you eat it. You're holding 2,000 years of history in your hand. Happy exploring. Why don't you come to Japan to eat onigiri?